In one mock draft, The Athletic got two of my absolute favorite players for the value, two of my favorite players in this draft. Not one, but two. They got my favorite sleeper defensive end, just pass rushing specialist in this draft. They got what might be my favorite late round running back in this draft, which you need another one because of all the injuries that you consistently have with the Seahawks. And they got my favorite name. Two favorite players for the value. Great sleeper edge, great sleeper running back, and the best name in the entire draft. Let's go after it. They just broke the draft. There is plenty of stuff, and everybody needs a trade. All right, so we'll get into how that went down, and let's just talk about how this absolutely fits in with your team. And you have to be getting excited about the draft. Like, you've got to be getting excited at some point right now when you're sitting kind of in the middle of that first round. It's still really exciting because you know you're right on the precipice of, like, we could get an elite player here at 18, but if one's not available, we're going to be able to trade back and get a bunch of really good players and just completely fill out our roster, which is really, really exciting. But before we jump into that, there was a really cool article that I was seeing that went in depth and kind of talked about draft value since the year 2000. And the Seattle Seahawks, which this makes a lot of sense, finished at number 13 overall. Now, what I noticed on the top 5 teams, it was GM and coach combos that have been together for the entirety of the time, almost the entirety of the time. Detroit Lions were number 1, and if you've watched this channel, you know we're Detroit Lions fans. We love the Lions, but we love teams that the national media ignores. That's why we're covering the Seahawks as one of the teams. They have not drafted phenomenal, but they have not drafted bad at all. And Schneider's been at this for a long, long time. All right, so it gives your best pick, which was Devin Witherspoon, your worst pick, which is Dwayne Eskridge. Yeah, that's true. And then your best value was Reek Woolen. No arguments from me there. It says the Seahawks also made some to-be-determined selections. Charles Cross, Boye Mafe, but hit gold with Woolen and Witherspoon. The results could be better, but they could be much worse. Now that you have a coaching change, it'll be, year 2, it'll be interesting to see. But I need to get into this draft. So it starts with a trade back because there were no stars there originally. So you trade. The Packers got your pick number 18, and you get 23 and 87. And I want you to see what you're able to do with those. All right. And with pick number 23, you go Tyler Booker, guard of Alabama. And when you look at your lineup, that's exactly what you need. When you're looking right in here, right? When we're in your offensive line and we're looking at it, what you need is interior help. Cross is a good left tackle, and he will be. Lucas, be healthy, guys. Just be healthy. And then you just strengthen up. You bolster the interior of that offensive line just a little bit. Olu and Timmy will be a just fine starting center in this league. If you need him to be, that's where you needed someone, and you needed a day one starter right now. And you went out and you got that. But that's not one of my 2 favorite picks. All right, the very next round, you decided that you were going to trade up. You were going to use one of those picks or because you got pick 87, you were willing to move from trade or pick 50 all the way up to 35. It cost you pick 50, pick 82, and pick 223. But what you decided was this offense is one really good wide receiver away from possibly being elite. So you fill the guard that shores up the offensive line, and now you go out and you get what might be my crush of the draft, which is Jaden Higgins. Jaden Higgins is out of control, if you ask me. I think when you look at his size and speed combination as a wide receiver, and then you combine that with the production that he had in college, you are looking at an elite prospect. Yes, he has the same last name as T. Higgins. I get that. He's an even better athlete. Look at this RAS score for this guy. You could not be happier than to get this guy. You have DK Metcalf. We all know he was a freak. We know that dude was a freak. This guy, it could be a more polished freak. All right. He is the 46th most athletic wide receiver to ever test. That's out of over 3,400 wide receivers. He's 6'4". He's 214 pounds. He's big. He can jump. All right. He has great explosion, and he's fast. He runs under a 4.45. He's in that 4.4 range. So he's fast enough to go over the top, but he's big enough to make contested catches. He's a solid route runner. I mean, this is a guy that I truly think could be elite. The only reason he's not being talked about in the first round as much, I think, is because he's not a 4.41. So what? So what? Maybe it's because he played at Iowa State and he didn't have great quarterback play. But this is a guy, everybody talks about how last year was the crazy wide receiver draft. And it was. That doesn't mean there's not still great wide receivers this year. All right, the wide receiver class this year is being talked about as better than the running back class last year, and there were still running backs that were rookies that did perform last year. Jaden Higgins, for my money, I'm just being honest here, there's a few guys ahead of him. He might be my wide receiver one. That is a great pick. All right, now to my other guy who I just love at the position with pick 52 that you had acquired from the Steelers, Darius Alexander. This is a small school guy, Toledo, right? Maction, he playing in the MAC. All right, he is a guy, he's a little bit older, but he has all the intangibles that you are looking for. All right, he is a good player. He was highly productive. He was highly productive in college, which he should be at Toledo. And not just that, again, yes, you're going to have to polish some things. I understand that. But when I look at a player that's dominating in the MAC, when I look at a player that's dominating at a lesser than conference, I ask myself, are they dominating because they're just more skilled? Is the athleticism real? Or is it just popping off the tape because he's playing against lesser competition? That's when I love the relative athletic score. And when you look at his RAS, he is the 51st most athletic defensive tackle to ever go to the combine. He has the arm length of 34, which is exactly what you want. He has good speed. He has phenomenal explosion, which is important in the trenches. It just shows that you have burst and all that kind of stuff that you need. And he has the size. Yeah, he could put on another 5 pounds, maybe, or he can just become a pass rushing specialist, and get pressure downfield. This would be phenomenal to get a guy like this. This is a guy who could be a first-round talent, and you could get him with pick 52. You can't be upset about that. You can't be upset about that, and he fits in perfectly. He fits in perfectly. He doesn't have to be there right away. All right, and then my next favorite pick, all in one mock draft. Josiah Stewart, edge out of Michigan. Edge out of Michigan. He's only 6'1". He's 250 pounds. I understand that. He's only 21 years old. He's about to be 22. He's a guy who came out of Coastal Carolina. I know a lot about him. I'm a Michigan fan. All right. And he just constantly got pressure on the quarterback. And he did it in the biggest moments, too. He did it in the college football national championship. He did it in the semifinal. He did it against Ohio State. So when he was playing the best tackles in the country, he still continued to produce at the highest level. That is what I love about him. All right. And when you talk about all the injuries to a guy like Trevor Nwosu, Uchenna Nwosu. I'm so sorry. Why did I say Trevor? All right. A guy that has all the talent in the world, you might be able to bring in a dude that can be that without the injuries. If you can utilize these picks, which you have a ton of them, wow, could this team be transformed? This is a massive draft for the Seattle Seahawks. You have been in the 9-8 purgatory forever, it seems like. 10-7, 9-8, 10-7, 9-8, 10-7, 9-8. This is the draft that could change everything. You made a change at quarterback, but this is the draft that could change everything. You get that full team around him. Really, really good things could happen for this team. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you like it. Hey, we're going to be live for the draft. make sure you check in with us. As we said, we're Lions fans. We have another channel, Sports Talk Detroit. So we're going to be live for the draft on that channel. And we're also going to be live for the draft. We'll be streaming it on this channel at the same time. So make sure you get in there, check it out, come say hi. We'll be making sure we cover everything Seattle does, along with some of the other teams that we cover. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be there for the entire first round. All right? Come hang out. We'll see you later.